the evening with a moment recognizing. Hello, everyone. I'm Perry Leach, Managing Director of Houston Grand Opera. Welcome to the start of Houston Grand Opera's 66th season. It's a little different from what we're all used to, but special nonetheless. And thank you so much for being a part of it. Unfortunately, we need to start with a slightly sad note. I'd like to take a moment to recognize that we lost a huge opera lover tonight. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away today, and her passion for the art form will be sorely missed. Our condolences go out to her family and her friends. As I said, tonight's recital, the first of our HGO Digital presentations, is a very different thing, and it features the wonderful Tamara Wilson and our music and artistic director, Patrick Summers, in the Live from the Cullen series. The operas and the recitals in this season are generously underwritten by Sarah and Ernest Butler, and we are deeply grateful for their support, and we certainly couldn't have done it without them. Thank you very much, Ernest and Sarah. Joining us tonight are our local patrons who have never missed an HGO opening night, and people from around the world to whom this is their first. So whether this is your 66th opening night or your very first, you're very, very welcome, and you're in for a treat. Tonight's recital will go live in about 25 minutes or so. And while I could talk forever, please let me introduce HGO's dramaturg, Jeremy Johnson, who will share more about Tamara and tonight's recital. Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, Baron. Happy opening night.
We're
so excited to kick off our 66th season.
Yeah, I'm really proud of all the work that our HGO family has put into making all of this happen, Jeremy. We've pivoted very quickly into a completely new way of working, and I'm so proud of everyone who's done this hard lifting. And what we're most grateful for, obviously, is that we can provide opera to our wonderful patrons and the people who are subscribers and single ticket buyers. So it's just great to be able to give them performances. We all miss being together, but these are fantastic performances and recitals that are coming up.
Absolutely. We need art and beauty in our lives, and that's exactly what Tammy and Patrick have in store for us tonight. Fantastic. I'll take our audience through a bit of background on the program, and we'll welcome Perrin back before the recital begins, along with a couple other special guests. Thanks, Perrin.
No problem. Thanks.
Before we get into the program tonight, let me take a minute to remind all of you watching here on Facebook or on YouTube that this video you're watching now, if you're hearing me say these words, this video is not where the recital is going to take place. This is our pre-show stream and our watch party stream. You have three options for watching the recital itself. Download the Marquee TV app on your smart device, including your smart TV, and create a free login. You can go directly to marquee.tv in a web browser, simply create a login, and you can access the whole HGO season for free. Or your third option, go to hgo.org/digital. Use your HGO login credentials or create an HGO login, and you can watch the whole season there for free as well. If you have any questions or comments during the pre-show tonight, feel free to type them into the comment boxes on Facebook or YouTube. We'll be able to see them and respond on here live. But don't ask me if I'm wearing pants. I won't answer that question. Let's jump into learning a bit more about tonight's program. Tonight, we open HGO's 2020-21 season with a recital by international superstar soprano Tamara Wilson. Tammy is joined at the piano by HGO artistic and music director Patrick Summers. Over the last 15 years, Tammy's career has taken her all over the world, singing the leading Verdi heroines in nearly all of his major operas, the title role in Aida, both Amelias in A Masked Ball and Simon Boccanegra, both Leonoras in Il Trovatore and La Forza del Destino, and Elizabeth in Don Carlo, among many other roles that she's sung at all the major opera houses of the world. You'll hear Patrick talk in his opening remarks about how special a voice Tammy's is, and we could not be more excited for her to open our season. Tammy is certainly no stranger to Houston Grand Opera. She performed with us 3 seasons ago in HGO's other emergency season, when we were displaced by Hurricane Harvey into the George R. Brown Convention Center. She sang Chrysothemis and Strauss's Electra with us that season. But more recently than that, she sang the title role in Verdi's Aida. Actually, the last live main stage performance we had at HGO before shutting down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There's some sort of poetic justice there that Tammy sang the title role of the final performance in the Brown Theater last season, and she now opens our digital season. Here's a clip of Tammy singing from that very production, a section of Aida's first act aria. She was truly magnificent in the role, and I loved being in the theater every single time for all those performances. I have no doubt that this clip has made you all even more excited to tune into her recital tonight. Here's a quick reminder for those of you just tuning in that at 7:30, this stream will transition to a watch party with some of our amazing HGO Studio artists. The performance itself will be streamed on HGO's website and through Marquee TV. You have 3 options for watching the recital itself. Download the Marquee TV app on your smart device, including your smart TV, and create a login. You can go directly to marquee.tv in a web browser, simply create a login, and you can access the whole HGO season for free. Or your third option, go to hgo.org/digital. Use your HGO login credentials or create an HGO login, and you can watch the whole season there for free as well. If you have any questions or comments during the pre-show tonight, feel free to type them into the comment boxes on Facebook or YouTube. We'll be able to see them and respond on here live. Before Tammy sang Aida last season, and before she sang Chrysothemis and Electra 3 seasons ago at the George R. Brown Convention Center, she was part of the Houston Grand Opera Studio for 2 seasons, from 2005 to 2007. While in the studio, Tammy sang 6 roles on the main stage, studied and covered many others, and performed in the annual studio showcase of scenes. Prior to filming her recital live in the Cullen with Patrick, I had a moment to sit down with Tammy to ask her a few questions, virtually, of course. I haven't really left my house in the last 6 months. I asked her what her favorite moment was of being in the studio for those 2 years. Here's what she had to say.
In my time in the studio, I would probably say, oh, there's so many things that I remember. Let's see. I would say all the things. It's cheating. I would say probably my studio performances, my first studio performance of scenes. It was a time where I really felt like, oh, I'm becoming an opera singer. This could be pretty cool.
Out of all the main stage roles she sang, all the training opportunities she had, the guest coaches and conductors she worked with, her favorite moment of being in the studio was her first performance in the studio showcase of opera scenes. That annual program is still on this year, and this year's HGO Studio artists will perform in a night of scenes that will deliver straight to your living rooms a week from tonight. If you're a young singer out there, there's still time to apply for a virtual audition for the HGO Studio. Visit hgo.org/studio for more information. After leaving the studio, Tammy returned the very next season for her principal artist debut at HGO, singing the role of Amelia in Verdi's A Masked Ball. Just a few months later, while contracted to sing the role of the First Lady in Mozart's The Magic Flute, she stepped in for an ailing colleague at the last minute to sing the role of Constanza in Mozart's The Abduction from the Seraglio. She's been back to HGO quite a few times since then. Here's what she said when I asked her what her favorite role has been so far at HGO.
My favorite role that I've probably done so far would be Trovatore. It was when I auditioned for the studio, that production was what they were doing at the time, and Sandra Radnowski was doing it. And I remember sitting there in the dark of the War of Them just going, oh, that's so cool, I'd love to do that one day. And then lo and behold, a few years later, I got to do the exact same production. So that was kind of a full circle moment for me.
I think that's such a great story that she saw Il Trovatore while auditioning for the studio and returned to HGO to sing one of her favorite roles from that very opera in the very same production. Well, now we're only 20 minutes away from the opening of our season and the first performance in HGO Digital's Live from the Cullen, part of the Sarah and Ernest Butler performance series. As a quick reminder, at 7:30, this stream will transition to a watch party with some of our amazing HGO Studio artists. The performance itself will be streamed on HGO's website and through Marquee TV. Please visit hgo.org/digital for more information about how to watch tonight's program. Before we get to the program, let's talk a little bit about what you'll hear tonight. The recital opens with a gorgeous piece by Henry Purcell, a 17th century composer from the English Baroque. Purcell wrote hundreds of songs and odes and a handful of operas, most famous of which are Dido and Aeneas and The Fairy Queen. The song that Tammy starts with tonight is titled Music for a While, and it's not from an opera, but rather is from a set of 4 songs that Purcell wrote as incidental music to a play by John Dryden and Nathaniel Lee. It was not uncommon in those days for plays to incorporate a handful of songs or instrumental pieces by composers as incidental music to the play, which most often occurred as musical interludes to the play and not part of the dramatic action itself. In this instance, the play by Dryden and Lee was called Oedipus, a Tragedy, and was based on Sophocles' play Oedipus Rex, a famous figure in Greek mythology. The text of this song begins, "Music for a while shall all your cares beguile," and goes on to talk about easing one's pains, and then seemingly out of nowhere, talks about Alecto and the snakes dropping from her head. Here's what that's all about. Alecto is the name of one of the female furies of Greek mythology, with snakes on her head, similar to our modern interpretation of Medusa. Except Alecto didn't turn people to stone. She was charged with punishing the moral crimes of humans that arose from rage and anger. So the text of the song is referring to overcoming that internal fury for which the fury Alecto would have been sent to punish. One of the cures for that internal angst, of course, is music. I think we all can relate to that right about now. Let's hear what Tammy had to say about starting her recital with this piece.
I love Purcell. I don't get the opportunity to sing early-ish music that often. It's usually romantic and later. But I started in college with all the Baroque music, and I have a true passion for it. So when it came time to pick what I wanted to do for this recital, after not singing for months, I thought, what made me want to sing in the first place? And it was this song. It was Music for a While. It was the first song my voice teacher in junior year of high school gave me to sing. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with classical music with that song. And I wanted to sing it again.
After the gorgeous Purcell opening to her recital, Tammy put together a set of 4 songs, all set to poems by the great 19th century American poet Emily Dickinson. 3 of them set by the Dean of American Composers, Aaron Copland, and 1 of them set by Andre Previn. The highly reclusive poet, Dickinson, only had 10 of her nearly 2,000 poems published during her lifetime. While scholars disagree about what school of poetry to box her into, is she a transcendentalist poet? Is she a romantic poet? Is she a feminist poet? Most agree that her incredibly unique style of poetry paved the way for a new era. Her poetry was filled with unnatural pauses, dashes, and slashes, And you might be able to hear that in the way Copeland and Previn set these poems. There are lots of leaps in the voice or pauses in the grammatical line. And a major theme in Dickinson's poetic output was to write about death. While all four of these songs touch on mortality, they're not necessarily morbid. Listen for the metaphors to nature Dickinson uses as she discusses mortality and death. Listen also for some of the hallmarks of Copeland and Previn's compositional styles. Copeland is known for very wide, expansive harmonies that, for a great part of the 20th century, really defined the American sound. There's a lot of space in Copeland's sound. Indeed, you'll see in the very first notes that Patrick plays on the piano, you'll see his hands separated rather far apart for that opening sound. It's a hallmark of Copeland's very wide space in his harmonies. In the fourth song, listen for how adept Andre Previn was at merging styles. He was a successful composer not only in classical music, but also in film scores and in jazz. Following the Dickinson set by Copeland and Previn, Tammy has programmed a set of 4 songs by Amy Beach, another American composer and someone whose place in the musical history books has really been on something of a ride. During her lifetime and career, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, she was rather successful and famous. She was the first female composer to have a symphony performed by a major U.S. orchestra, and one of the first U.S. composers, period, to have her music accepted in Europe. But after her death in 1944, her compositions fell out of popularity and were rarely performed. There has been a recent revival of her works over the last 30 or so years, and now she's reclaiming her place in history as one of the most important female composers of Western classical music. She did actually write one opera titled Cabildo, a one-act chamber piece about true love and about pirates. But she's more known for her piano music, her chamber music, and her prolific output of song repertoire. Here's what Tammy had to say about programming Amy Beach in this recital.
I love Amy Beach songs because A, they're not done that often, and I love doing repertoire that, might have been put in the wayside for a while, and her songs are amazing. And I hope this kind of instigates people looking into her more, because she has amazing songs with great poetry, and they are uniquely her. It might be from an era that's kind of, Victorian-esque or Edwardian, so that's probably why we don't do them as much, but they're really good songs, and they're entertaining and hopeful, and I wanted to have some hopeful, fun songs for this recital.
After that, we'll then be transported to the music of 2 titans of classical music, both prolific opera composers, Richard Strauss and Gioacchino Rossini. Strauss's Opus 27 is a set of 4 songs that Strauss wrote as a wedding gift to his wife, and Tammy is singing the last of the 4, titled Morgen. I find the piece to be deeply emotional, but also very hopeful. On the most basic level, the text is about 2 people reuniting. Perhaps they're lovers, perhaps they're friends. Perhaps they're reunited in death, as would be expected in German Romantic poetry as a release from the struggles of the natural world. Or perhaps they're reunited at the shore, the wide blue-waved shore that the text refers to, in a pure realistic interpretation of the text. But I like to think it's somewhere in between, a German naturalism interpretation that is a mixture of that realism and romanticism. And there's certainly something otherworldly about the way Strauss sets the text, particularly the placid, suspended ending. Rossini's Soirée musicale is a set of 12 Italian songs composed in the early 1830s. Tammy will sing 3 of the 12, including one of the most fun songs Rossini wrote, La Danza, a patter song that pits the singer against the text as she sings more and more quickly. These 3 songs are a lovely set to follow Strauss's Morgen, as we'll hear Tammy sing about loving and wooing and dancing, what people do when they can finally be together again, reunited. Her final song needs no introduction, and you'll all be blown away with how Tammy sings that fabulous standard by Ross Parker and Huey Charles, We'll Meet Again, made famous by Vera Lynn. The last question I asked Tammy was what she wanted you all to take away from her recital tonight. Here's what she said.
I just want people to forget about things for a while. I made this recital to kind of sit and have a cathartic moment at the beginning with some Emily Dickinson poetry, which is a little, recluse and, in your feelings a bit. And I feel like I needed to do that to sing again. So I hope that people will take this moment to kind of just relax, shut the phone off. If you want to watch it in the bath, you can. I mean, you can you can watch it anywhere, which is an amazing thing. You could be in pajamas. I wish I could be, but it was nice to put like real clothes on for a while. So yeah, it's about feeling your feelings at the beginning, and then hopefully towards the end of the recital, you have a feeling of joy and what music is so important for, which is making life better. And I want to help make life better for right now.
That's fantastic. And hopefully I'll be able to watch in my pajamas too. I might be halfway there. You don't know. You only see the upper half. No. Well, right now we're just about 9 minutes away from HGO's opening night of our 66th season. As a reminder, this video stream is going to transition to a watch party with two of our fantastic studio artists. Head to hgo.org/digital for the actual recital. I'm so excited to welcome two of our HGO Studio artists who will host you for the watch party here on Facebook and YouTube. First-year soprano, Raven McMillan, and first-year bass, Corey McGee. Please welcome Raven and Corey. We might not have them with us just yet. But if there are any questions from the audience, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, let me check to see if there are any questions. I think our team has done a good job of answering them as they come up. For those of you who are just joining us, we're gonna jump to an aria that Tammy sang for us last season, the first act aria, a clip of the first act aria in Verdi's Aida. We have a couple questions here that I can address as we wait for our watch party host to join us. Let's see. What do I think my favorite moment will be tonight? Oh gosh, I don't know. I really love Richard Strauss's Morgan, but to be honest, I'm really most excited about the Amy Beach songs. I'm most excited to hear the Amy Beach songs because they're really not performed terribly often. I love Amy Beach's style. I love her one-act opera. I love her compositions and just how fantastic a composer she was. But more importantly than that, I love the place that she's reclaiming in history that she absolutely deserves as really the dean of female American composers. She's going to be a really wonderful set to hear tonight. Let's see. I'm seeing a note here that we've got our watch party hosts ready to join me. So let's bring on Raven and Corey. Welcome, Raven and Corey.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you both doing tonight?
Great.
Doing well. How are you?
Great, doing great. Our audience might recognize Corey from last season's Eleanor McCollum competition in Concert of Arias, where he won second prize for his performances of arias from Massenet's Don Quixote and Mozart's Don Giovanni. Raven was unavailable for the Concert of Arias competition last season, but she still auditioned for the studio, and we're so glad to have her. Raven, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you made your way into the HGO studio.
Well, I'm originally from Baltimore, and I was just doing my master's at CCM most recently. And I guess I made my way to the studio. Basically, I had a show with CCM at the same weekend of the competition. So I literally ended up here with some other people for a separate audition on January 1st or the 2nd maybe. But I think I flew on New Year's Day because it's that important. If HGO wants to hear you again, you get on the flight. So, and yeah, so I'm so still incredibly pinching myself every couple of days. But
that's fantastic. We're so excited to have you, and we're excited that you'll be hosting the watch party tonight with Corey. Yeah. Corey, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how these first few weeks of the HGO studio have been going for you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm from Stafford, Virginia. I'm not new to Houston, though. I did my master's at Rice, so it's kind of familiar stomping grounds now. So it's been nice to have that. I can't imagine, like Raven said, flying in, coming in for one day, and then getting not thrown to the wolves, because HGO is such an amazing company to get started within the Young Artist program. But I mean, it's kind of daunting. But these first couple of weeks have been very great. We've been doing staging for our showcase, which y'all will be able to watch the 25th. Very excited about that. And yeah, we've just been doing a lot of lessons and coachings and language work. So great things.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have lots of time this season to get to know Raven and Corey. You'll see them in next week's Studio Showcase program, as well as many of the operas we'll be releasing over the next few months. But now we'll welcome Perrin back to kick us off. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight for the pre-show, and stick around with Raven and Corey for the watch party. Welcome back, Perrin.
Thank you. It's so exciting. I can hear in the other room, my family is sitting down to watch the thing on Marquee TV. If you haven't logged on yet, please do that. I have to say, Corey, you've got the most beautiful sunset going on behind you. It's
I was just thinking that too.
It's just golden time for you, isn't it? It's just fantastic in so many ways. Thank you again, as Jeremy said, for everyone for joining us. It's really going to be a thrilling evening. We're absolutely delighted to be kicking off our 66th season. If you keep the screens open, then obviously you can see Raven and Corey and listen to what they're saying and giving you a singer's perspective. And then join me afterwards for a conversation with Tammy to talk a little bit more about the recital and what it's like to be back at work. Singers are just loving being back at work and working at HGO. So Marquee TV or hgo.org/digital. Have a great evening. Join us afterwards if you possibly can. And we really are so pleased you're here. Have a great show. Having you back to Raven and Corey, our hosts in the studio.
Thank you. Okay. Are we starting? I guess. I guess.
It looks like we're probably going to be starting basically right now. So there we go. Perfect. So again, I'm sure they said this, but this is on Marquee TV and on HGO. You'll find it on HGO Digital. So there's a couple of different options.
I'm gonna put mine on. I think we have to put ours on second. I think. I'm not hearing you.
Hello, I'm Kelly Rose.
Oh, there we go.
Jonathan Phillips has been a long-standing partner with Grand Office, supporting the company for over 40 years. We proudly sponsor the Grand Office.
So Patrick is talking, Maestro Summers, on the actual stream, but someone said, isn't the program a little bit odd for a dramatic soprano? Yeah, there it goes. Isn't the program somewhat unusual for a dramatic soprano? You know, I maybe not as average as you would, what you would always get, but I think that these songs are great songs to be interpreted by basically as many people as possible. I'm sure Corey and I are familiar with at least most of these, and I can just imagine that they're going to be awesome regardless. It is a little bit not exactly what you would think of for like dramatic soprano song rap. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I think, I was very excited. Okay, when I saw she was doing a recital, I thought, yes, she's gonna have like all the Strauss, all of the
Right.
things like that. But she is singing Morgan, and I might have to turn my video off for that because I'm not gonna let y'all see me cry. No, I'm kidding. But it's like one of my favorite pieces. But yeah, these the Amy Beach songs are actually very, very good, and Previn is also known to, he does Streetcar, so we'll have some very exciting music to listen to tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
Corey has fans.
Some people are reaching out just to, let me turn mine down. So through the live stream, I don't believe you'd be able to hear you have to go to Marquee on a different device to watch it. I may be misunderstood though.
Yeah. So I'm watching it actually on my phone right now as well. We're like the side. We're the side dish.
Marquee, marquee.tv, and then it'll just come up and it says live now, and you can watch it, and we watch it alongside each other.
Wow.
She has such ease. I don't understand how it's
It's so
possible.
easy for that song to be boring.
Right, right.
But
There
that
was
was
so much.
obviously not.
I could never.
These intervals would be my worst nightmare.
I was gonna ask, have you done any Copeland before?
No, actually I haven't. I don't think I've done any Copeland.
I think literally the only one I've done is the "Shall We Gather at the River?" And isn't that's not even it? Didn't he just arrange it?
Yeah, isn't that Ives had an arranger?
Oh, Ives also has an arrangement. Yeah, so I guess it's not him. So I haven't done any Copeland. Oh, there. You can hear it through that now?
Yes, now I can hear it on my streaming thing.
Hopefully there's no echo from our mics. Every time I see the song "The World Feels Dusty" on programs,
The way you said it makes me know that you're up to no good. The world feels dusty.
I'm pretty sure it's a beautiful song if I remember correctly, but just the title. Yeah. Uh-oh. That's about to be said.
When we stop to die, we want the Father's taste dry. Takes a dying face, but the least fan stirred by a friend's hand cools like the rain. Mine be the ministry in thy
She's making it seem like English is not like the hardest language.
Right. It's so good. Have you ever heard her sing it in person?
Not in person, no. I'm dying to.
I think I saw Aida 2, if not 3 times.
Here,
and that was here last season, and she's just so good. It's almost it is unbelievable, like how consistent it is throughout.
Yeah, which I also think is actually another, back to our original question, I've been thinking about it, another great reason for a dramatic soprano, especially someone like Tammy, to sing these songs. Like when you listen to the range and like the, the tessitura of some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's doing it more justice than, like, honestly, you hear a lot of these songs in undergrad and you really don't want to, but
Right. I mean, it sounds like a totally different piece when
yeah, it's amazing.
the way she's interpreting them.
That creaked across my soul with those symbols
Of the
of
funeral.
dread again. Then space began to dawn as though the heavens were above. And being not and me. And while sighs some strange bliss wrecked solitary.
What are you drinking?
I was about to ask you the same thing, honey. I have a little red. I'm not gonna lie, I was rushing to get down with my glass, so I chose a twist top today.
Okay.
Quick
Nothing wrong with
open.
that. This is Uno Spritz. A Spritz. But yeah, it's just Aperol and Prosecco. But
Yeah, I've had something like that before. Aperol's a little bit weird.
yeah.
But you know, there is this Montrose wine and cheese thing that you can get. Yeah, we didn't get it this time, so we're slacking. But you can get it, and it comes like with some stuff. It comes with cheese. It comes with some wine, something to make a little cocktail.
Yeah,
and
you
I
actually
think
can
there's
make it.
a code you can use for something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what is it?
It's 5% of the proceeds go towards Houston Grand Opera when you use the discount code HGO Tamara at
Yes.
checkout.
Yeah, and there's a link somewhere, so I'm sure you'll find the link. It might be here where you can see it. I don't know what screen I'm on.
Subscribe
so
here.
doing my YouTube.
Click it. Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
narrating. But I'm definitely gonna get that next time because
Mm-hmm. My snack of choice, I know it's insane, but they are my favorite thing, are these ghost pepper chips.
this man is doing ghost pepper chips and a spritz.
Yes, something to cool it down, but they are very hot, but they actually like have flavor. They're not for the faint-hearted though, so like don't go if you're like, oh, I like spicy. Like you have, if you know what a ghost pepper is and you know what a Carolina Reaper is, they're good.
Then you're ready.
Otherwise,
You're ready.
they don't taste like no jalapeno.
Don't you wish you could like be in this recital hall though?
I know. Actually, we were right after, like a day or two after she filmed, and I still heard her top ringing around. So
I still heard the ring, like y'all. That's how insane this is.
yeah. And don't forget to join us. I think you might be able to hear it here during the live stream, but join the recital at Marquee, marquee.tv/HGO-Digital, and it'll be right there for you to click on.
Yes, and I think that one's live. If you get on hgo.org, you'll be able to watch it in the future, I think for 30 days. But right now, it seems like it's not live, so you might not be exactly lined up with what we're seeing. Yeah. But it's up there. The whole recital is there.
Yes. I think we are just starting the Amy Beach. I cannot wait for Morgan.
We all know Corey's favorite song. Strauss is like basically my favorite composer, so.
It's also amazing that she like records so well. It sounds so good. Also, they have
It
top of the
does.
line, state of the art.
I hope we sound this good. We're super excited to see our showcase next week.
Yeah, yeah. There's some good scenes. Y'all's Elixir scene, I was backstage waiting to do the Don Giovanni chorus part for them. And I was watching some of it. It's gonna be so good. It looks so good.
There's a duet Ricky and I sang from Elixir. So I was Dina, who was playing Nimarino. Ricky is our tenor in the studio, and it was a high energy scene.
I mean,
So
Ricky jumping up on chairs, like things like that.
Literally.
Y'all,
Spoiler, there are chairs. That's the spoiler. There are 2 chairs.
Yeah. They were. A lot of the scenes were high energy. It's a really fun program.
So cute. I saw them.
Gosh, the Donkey Show. I got to wear such a beautiful costume. Y'all will see on the 25th. But a big hat with like super light. When I rode on my horse, the feathers were bouncing up and down.
I love elaborate costumes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite parts is still dressing up.
Right. I know we got to like get into our costumes in the dressing room. I was like, oh my gosh, I missed it.
And right now, because of COVID, we're doing our own makeup.
Yeah.
And we just have someone kind of like approve it and look at it. But honestly, I think that's my favorite part is someone else doing my makeup for productions. I don't know why, but
yeah. It always makes me laugh though. I get ticklish in those situations. I can't believe we were just talking over that now. Wow. Oh my gosh.
So if you are just joining, this is I'm Raven, soprano, first year in the studio, and
I'm Corey McGee, also first year in the studio. Bass.
Yes,
did you say you were soprano?
soprano.
I'm also. Yeah.
No, he's a bass. But we're just doing a watch party here, so you can listen to our little commentary, and it's like we're here with you, like your buddies, because I don't know, me and Corey are buddies, so.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch the actual recital, you do have to get onto Marquee TV. So there's an app, or you can go to the website, Marquee TV website, or you can go to the HGO website and look under HGO Digital and find this recital as well. Mm-hmm. And so right now she's in the middle of an Amy Beach set.
I think she's at Ariete. The third one.
Okay, yeah.
I also want to say thank you so much to Houston Methodist, our awesome health partner. Because of them, and like a big reason is because of them, we've been able to get back to work in the Wortham because they provide us with our weekly COVID tests that we do. Mm-hmm. So they've made it very safe for us to get back to doing what we love most. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we still take a lot of precautions. You can even see here with the recital, Maestro Summers is wearing his mask and everything. But we're able to just perform together in person at all because we get those weekly COVID tests that they provide for us at the Wortham every week. So that has been definitely like, you know, a necessary step, and we love them for doing that too for us.
Yes. So it is. It's great.
It's a questionable experience to have every week.
I'm like, all right, 10 seconds of like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, the peace of knowing that we're doing it safely and we're continuing to do it safely. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is this? I can't hear. Oh no. Okay. This seems like it's probably dark as the night. Talk about the moon, I can only
I'm laughing because I truly feel like I'm at a recital, like sitting next to Corey. Like, no, I think this is dark as the night right now. Do you know this one? I think that's what she's on.
Because not that I talk this much during recitals. No, I'm kidding. Is this dark as the night? Oh God. I've never heard this one. I will be silent during Morgan though, just to plug, but that is like literally my
Yeah.
favorite.
It's basically like a meditation. It's almost like especially the piano, the instrumental.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
So good.
Can't wait.
Now back to the dramatic soprano thing. Personally, I love Strauss, and if she sang even more Strauss in this recital, I would lose it.
Right. Like,
But it's a beautifully programmed recital too.
mm-hmm. It really is. I'm excited for the Rossini because those are fun,
Yeah, I think
great pieces.
I sang one of those, and they're known. You know, you might recognize them, but I'm excited to see what she does with them.
You should put on there so like the da 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 da. Or something. I think. It's a
I think
fun
so.
one. Oop, here we go.
I think this is a set. I think this is a larger set though too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is Dark as the Night.
Okay, so Corey led us astray.
I led y'all into the night without a flashlight, so sorry.
Don't listen to Corey.
Another thing y'all could do is if you still need dinner, Eat for Art can help enhance this viewing party. Though we have probably like 15 more minutes. It's very easy. It's through DoorDash, and everyone is using it anyway. I know I am more than I need to be probably. But the link should be in the chat. If it isn't already, it will be there. But yeah, please.
Yeah.
It's
So,
such a
especially if you have company or if you live with someone, your food might get here right as the recital is finishing up. And then you can, that's the best thing to do anyway. When you go to a recital, you go to the recital and then you leave and you have like a drink or a meal or something. And then you talk about how awesome it was. So.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Here's the dramatic stuff.
Yes.
Wow.
Whoa, I don't know the song and I was not expecting that. That was sick.
I know the only Amy Beach I know is I Love But a Day. So, and I know that one is
single Amy Beach.
Yeah.
I do know a good handful of Amy Beach, but I don't know that one. And that was like
Okay, sorry. I gotta listen.
Time.
It's time. About to mute my mic.
And the maestro play this beautiful intro too.
Let me turn it up on my computer so I can make it a little bit louder.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself too because
see y'all in 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Y'all, I think so. This is my
That was beautiful.
this is my cat Lupo, and I think he sensed the tears coming because he jumped down from his nap on the table and wanted to come and say hi.
Oh, what a sweet baby. How poignant of a piece. Honestly, I feel like anytime someone sings that piece, it's like, it just, you know, it's going to hit someone, like where they're at in their life, you know? But with right now and how many people, like, you know, whether they're people personally or just in America or just in the world that we've lost to this pandemic, that was so beautiful.
I'm emotional. I'm not gonna cry. I'm with that song. Oh, and that was just so beautifully played by Maestro. And song. Oh.
I told y'all that Corey was a soprano. So
except I do the most, even. Okay. Yeah. So the pro of having a long white-haired cat is this right here. Gets all of your clothes. And I wouldn't want to change it for anything. People are like, oh, you had that there. I'm like, don't touch his fur. I want it there to remind me how much I love it.
You know, I have a mild allergy to pets, but my allergy medicine seems to cover that, so I don't care because I love animals, but...
Luckily, I guess, so like with cats, they like, the thing that people are allergic to is like a protein in their saliva. And Ragdoll, his breed, like when they clean themselves, it gets on the dander and whatnot. But he doesn't produce enough of the protein to like have people react to it that badly.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, the dog I had growing up, his name is Snickers. He's very cute. He's a little mutt. He's a Shih Tzu Pomeranian, and Shih Tzus are hypoallergenic, so he doesn't really shed. If you brush him, he does have longer hair, so it'll start to come out, but he doesn't shed and he doesn't produce like the same dander or whatever. That he's like probably a mild allergen to me. I love Strauss and I love Rossini.
Truly and honestly, both two icons.
Just icons. I mean, the way Strauss, I mean, I know she's singing Rossini now, but the way Strauss wrote, and like even that song is like, you know, one of his like simple songs. Because he can get really crazy tonally, rhythmically, but even that, like, I mean, that just proves his genius, right? The way he wrote that, like, kind of like for him, a really simple piece that is just so like incredible.
And then speaking of simple, you're also learning Grossmächtige Prinzessin, right?
Yep, so simple. 14 minutes of basic.
You're not doing the 20-minute one with the high G's?
I'm not doing the extended version. Yeah, I learned, Corey's making fun of me because I learned Serenata for fun. And I'm singing the aria now, and it's very long, and it's very Strauss.
I mean, Ariadne auf Naxos is like, oh my gosh.
Like Strauss to a T. Like
Strauss to a T. Such great music.
I love Ariadne's part though. Like if I ever sing in real life, I would be backstage like low-key weeping. But
I'll be on stage saying, Es gibt eine
exactly. That's Corey's rap, y'all. So
it's so good. It's so good. I want to hear. I need to see if Tamara Wilson has a Es gibt eine Reise I can listen to.
That'd be amazing. My go-to right now is Jesse Norman.
Oh, come on.
Of course. And my go-to for Serenata right now is Rary Grist, actually. She is fantastic.
Who's who?
Rary Grist. I've only found the audio, but she's incredible.
Wow. It's amazing. Miss Promesa. What's the next one?
La Danza.
Oh, this is La Danza?
No, I think the next one.
No, this is Limbito, probably. But let me not lead y'all astray again. If I did that in back.
Yeah, don't listen to Corey. We already learned that. Corey won't be invited back.
Don't call me out like that. Oh my goodness. This has been so much fun.
This is super fun.
When I got asked to do it, I was like, absolutely. This is like, I get to listen to Tamara Wilson sing and like talk about it to people. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what we do anyway. This is what me and Corey would have been doing anyway. You know,
Right.
just
Right. I hope everybody is having a great time and enjoying it and watching on your separate device or watching it with us.
yeah. I
Hope
hope
we're
y'all
not
have us
talking
turned
over
down
too
because we
much.
ended up talking a lot.
I know, I feel bad. Sorry.
I hope y'all have us as like a whisper in your.
Or just turn it off. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun though. But we got two more. I want to listen to this We'll Meet again for sure. But
Yeah, this will be up for 30 days, I believe. So you can always go back, especially if Corey and I disturbed you a little bit. But honestly, also, if something just touched you, you can go back for 30 days and listen to this. And the same will be true, I think, for all of our anything
the virtual
that is
season.
released digitally.
Yeah, I believe so. Which coming up, we do have some. We have our showcase on the 25th.
Showcase is next Friday, same.
Yep.
Same
These are
time,
all
new hosts.
these are all at 7:30. All of the dates are always like that same time, except for Concert of Arias, but that's in February, so y'all will get plenty of those for that. The next live from the Cullen is Reginald Smith Jr., an amazing baritone.
Reggie.
Reggie is a good friend, and he's an amazing singer. So you will not want to miss that.
He's also a studio alum, same as Tamara.
So, and then later in October is Winken. It's German? No, Winkensport.
It's in English.
So Winkensport.
I think Winkensport. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, they'll tell me. But I think it's a Swedish sport where they do finch, they race birds or something like that. But that's what the opera is about. It's a relatively contemporary English opera, and that'll be, what date is that, Corey?
That's October 23rd, Friday.
Yeah, and it's a cool opera. I looked into it a little bit, and there's basically the perspective of different bird trainers in this sport. So it's like kind of an aria based opera, and it's actually really cool.
That's so interesting. Oh, did I just step on his tail? I think I just stepped on his tail. Maybe I did. I don't know.
So yeah. So Winkensport is by David Little and the librettist Royce Vavrek. And it's actually a Belgian sport. So I was getting close, but I was wrong. And it's a Belgian sport of finch.
Oh, Belgian.
And so the show is multiple of these like bird trainers, these finch trainers, giving their like perspective and their stories. And I actually did watch it. It's not super long. I've watched it before, and some of it is actually really funny, and and some of it, it's one of those kind of operas where some is funny, some is more serious, but that'll be coming up. And there's some studio members in that too, as well as some guest artists. So after the studio showcase, most of the shows are a good mix of like the studio and some outside artists. And then I think
so Maestro Summers will be conducting it, and then it's going to be co-directed by a studio alum, Ryan McKinney, who will also be starring in the role, and then co-directed by Ryan McKinney and Elorn Meeker, who is an amazing director.
Yeah, and she's also directing our Impresario production, which is coming up.
I'm excited.
So I'm in that, and another studio member, William Gwambosu, is in that, and then also some more artists. And that's on the website and everything. Info on that. Nicole Heaston is in it, and Freddie Ballantyne. Those are the 4 singing parts. And do you have the dates for that pulled up, Corey?
Yeah.
I'm in it, and I'm asking Corey.
I guess it's a double bill. Yeah, double bill with Impresario and Bon Appetit. That's Friday, November 27th. So I'm assuming it's probably the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, which fitting for Bon Appetit. Jamie Barton doing some Julia Child. That is going to be so good. Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh, here we
but
go.
Tamara
This is
is giving us life over here on the side.
wow. So I think this is the We'll Meet Again. Um, maybe we can tune in and listen to that, and then we can come back and wrap
Yeah, say
things
a
up.
little.
Yeah.
We do want to fill you in a little bit on like the little end of the season if we're still on, so we'll just speed through that. But let's listen to this. I actually don't know this either.
Me either.
So
just like you always do, till the blue skies chase the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the friends that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet
give us
again
chest, Tammy. I love it.
someday. Meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny
Awesome.
Oh
Can't
gosh.
wait to meet again in the
Okay.
Opera House.
Yes. Oh, that was so good. I thought it was gonna be like a sappy song, so I was like, I'm not ready to be emotional. But that was fun.
No, it was
And
like the
Lupo said he
words were a
wanted to
little
dance.
sappy if you like isolated them. But I
Mm-hmm.
really liked the vibe.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And
Yeah.
again, a beautifully programmed recital and actually very poignant for what we're doing, what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So we are just gonna look at a little bit more of what is coming up. So there's gonna be several live from the Cullens with several artists, which are Reginald Smith Jr., which Corey mentioned, and we're good friends with Reggie, which is why we were like, oh.
Yeah.
And then there's also Arturo Chacon Cruz and Sasha Cook. And so those are kind of spaced out over the months, but you'll get plenty of notifications about that. And we talked about Finkensport, and we talked about Impresario and Bon Appetit. And then Concert of Artists in February, we mentioned that. And so the last thing kind of is Snowy Day.
Yes. And well, there's Giving Voice too, which is Larry Brownlee's. He's going to have another one of those concerts. I'm so excited for that.
Yes.
But
So
yes.
it's the same, not the same, but it's, we had Giving Voice last season, and now it's Giving Voice 2.
Giving
So
more
cool.
voice.
Giving more voice.
Period. But yeah,
giving
Snowy
additional
Day.
voice. And then, so then there's Snowy Day.
Which, big news, exciting.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm in that.
I mean, I guess I am too, but
Me and Corey are both in that. So The Snowy Day is a book by Ezra Jack Keats, and that's like the big world premiere this season. Although, obviously, we're pushing the live shows a little bit to next season, I believe. But right now, there's going to be a documentary released, and let me tell you the date of basically like a kind of behind the scenes and the concept and talking with the librettist and the composer about, you know, what they feel about the piece. And that's going to be December 10th at 7:30. And all of these are at 7:30, like Corey said. December 10th, that's actually the day before my birthday.
Oh my gosh. Come on, Sagittarius, wearing red.
Yes, red like Peter. So I will be Peter in the snowy day. And Corey will be there with us as
Yeah,
well.
I'm going to be singing Billy, so I get to bully you, unfortunately. That's not going to be fun, but it'll
Billy
be
the
fun.
bully. He bullies me in real life, you guys.
Right. Yeah, right. It's method acting. It's method acting.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the digital season and that you can watch it like this, and that HGO came up with these like amazing ideas.
It's so
really
amazing.
Kind of at the last minute because
Yeah.
you had to, you know.
It's amazing, and I'm so thankful that like this HGO is such a special company to and then to reach out to have like us do, you know, co-host this and things like that. I'm just so thankful for y'all for really showing like that we still can do this and that this is like the medium that we're using right now. But I mean, I still think it's as effective and it's just as fun.
Yeah. And I think there's so much, like, there's the opportunity now for this, like us, you know, having me and Corey in your living room, hopefully, or wherever you are, like with you, because we have this. So I hope that we keep this, even when we go back to live performances. I will willingly gladly host all the events.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. So is that?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
and again, you can always log in to these events on HGO or Marquee TV, the app or the website for Marquee TV.
And hopefully you guys tune in. Please tune in on next Friday, the 25th, for Studio Showcase.
Yeah, so all the studio artists will be featured. So including the pianist, there's I think 11 of us. So we'll all be there featured, and there will be some different hosts also from the studio. So.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Bye.